carnival parade, a joyous way to spend an evening, but what transpired you'll have trouble believing.
It was the 29th of February, as I recall. Ash-colored clouds produced a light rainfall. The showers wouldn't stop revelers from celebration. Multitudes assembled at the festive occasion. Elaborate floats with extravagant sculptures at the helm of mythical creatures from mystical realms. Men and women made merriment, children laughed excitedly. Then from the sky came a great blast of lightning. A lofty live oak collapsed on a power main. Cables writhed on the street like worms split in twain. Wind sent the flayed wires sparking up the block, delivering to what they touched such powerful shocks. The stupendous floats received tremendous jolts of what I estimate to be about 1 billion volts. And the next occurrence I feel batty to attest. Bear with me, good listener, and hear out the rest. The fearsome float figures made of paper mache, awoken from their crafts, began tearing away. Two fire-breathing dragons and a hulking harlequin, a jewel-encrusted elephant and an immense suited skeleton. Also the minotaur and a most hideous demon ran rampant in the rain, sending those revelers screaming. The police fired shots at the colossal foes. Most were trampled to death, so it goes. Buildings were crumbled, vehicles overturned. People fled pell-mell as their homes were burned. As the city saw the Reaper sickle come into view, I sprang into action as I am one to do. Between the two dragons, bravely I stood, taunting them to burn me as best as they could. With dog-like agility, I leapt from my place, and the dragons engulfed one another in flames. The giant jester jumped along, juggling cars, smashing them on the floor like quick jaws guitars. I raced to the next one he chose for his play, stuffed my shirt in the gas tank and set it ablaze. An explosion ensued, enveloping the clown. A hail of colorful confetti fell to the ground. The gem-adorned elephant was running amok when I noticed an abandoned concessions truck. I packed 50 pounds of peanuts into a sack and motioned the mighty mammal over for a snack. As the elephant dined, I gently petted his trunk. Then he wrapped it around me and lifted me up. Friends we became, and onward we strode, sparing no effort in the chaotic episode. The oversized skeleton danced in dapper clothes, knocking down lampposts and telephone poles. Toward the finely dressed ghost of John, on my gold-tusked elephant I charged head-on. Colliding full force into the base of his shins, all his bones flew this and that away like bowling pins. The minotaur stomped about the city, ramming in storefront doors and windows, eating mannequins. I propped the model up behind an open manhole and unleashed a shout to the unwitting manimal. He raced forth and fell down into the sewer system, an impossible labyrinth he'll never escape from. One day I'll have a son to teach my sword techniques. He'll descend into the foul maze and decapitate the beast. A single menace left, the most dastardly one, the bat-winged demon with the black snake tongue. Mounted upon an old decrepit cathedral, the dark general directed a battalion of evil. A throng of cadavers he amassed in force, by robbing every grave in the city of its corpse. An army of this many was too much for one man, so using my mind I devised a plan. I sped to the city outskirts by the wharf, to the warehouse where old parade floats were stored. The figures of gods who inspired great poems, slumbering there in their fiberglass forms.
Dionysus,
The god of wine and revelry,
Proteus,
mutable god of the sea,
Morpheus,
the god who appears in your dreams,
Mercury,
the god of success and trickery. My wish was to awaken these divine four, to assist in vanquishing the archfiend in war. With a couple copper cables hooked to a battery, I jumped the first one and then zapped the other three. Instantly the great sculptures came to life, and desperately I told them of my current strife. Eager to serve, we marched on with courage, to save our fair city from the maleficent scourge. The demon divided his army into 4 separate flanks, each one stationed behind fortified banks. His red skin flared, his tail pointed with a spike, signaling his troops to advance and strike. Our band was ready, we held our position. Proteus loaned me his 3-pronged spear for the mission. The first god to act was he from the vineyard. Pouring from his endless jug, he flooded the contenders. The first flank was drowned in the rush of Merlot. The few who could stand were too drunk to stone a throw. Next to turn the tide was the god from the ocean, summoning 1,000 seals in one swift motion. The canines of the sea were commanded to attack, then in the form of a wave he washed away the second pack. With half an army left, Morpheus took a stand, cast a spell of hypnosis he learned from his old man. Vaulting into their minds, he cast horrible sights. The third flank ran frantically from the fight. Now Mercury stepped up, disguised as the demon leader, and ordered the last few soldiers to follow. He led the regiment directly into the river, and by the violent current the 4th flank was swallowed. The demon's ire swelled as he watched his troops fall. With the weapon on my back, I scaled up the wall. Reaching the perch where the heinous one sat, I challenged my horned adversary to combat. Without a hesitation, he whipped his tail around, which I skipped like a rope and gave his skull a fierce pound. In a rage, he rushed right at me full-fledged. I dodged and speared his wing as he fell over the edge. Plummeting like a rock for a 1/12 of a mile, when he landed his heart was pierced by a sundial. Down below, a crowd of spectators cheered. I thanked my 4 allies who winked and disappeared. A ceremony was held in my honor the next day. Both peasants and royalty had this to say.
Long live Devlin, the noble MC, who guides us through chaos to peace and safety.
And so I responded, hear ye, my kindly neighbors. You need not thank me, but do me this favor. Raise up your vino, your ale, or your spirit, and lend an ear for a toast, should you care to hear it. May your waters be clean and your moons be many, your foes be few and your pals be plenty. A toast to all of those elevated to knighthood by raising their sword in the fight for good.